That Friday, we had a piñata in my Spanish class, and we put a picture of Osama bin Laden's face on it.
Oh my God.
Some anonymous stories or kind of like insights about what it was like growing up with a parent with a mental illness. And these are some of the response of our listeners. So, what was it like having a parent with a mental illness? This one was really uplifting and I really, really liked it. And I just loved the response and the insight, and it just made me feel really good.
Okay.
So they said, you live with a lot of anxiety. If you have other trusted family members, try to reach out to talk to them or find a mentor. Keep your chin up, do good in school so you rise up. Don't be down on yourself about it and think it makes you defective. If you resent them, recognize that and understand it's normal. When they're having good days and you enjoy them, let yourself do that. Just keep reasonable expectations and develop healthy coping mechanisms. And I just like read that and I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. Like, yeah.
I think that's good advice for
Yeah.
somebody, but obviously when you're quite young, that's a difficult thing to do.
Oh,
or
yeah,
like
that
to
perspective,
understand.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's obviously a really good perspective to tell somebody, but I think you could only really understand it when you've been through it and kind of
Yeah.
like been through the shit times to then be like, okay, I'm gonna be happy during the good times and try to acknowledge them.
But I think even having that conversation or even kind of giving that advice, even when you were young, because not being told anything is worse. Like, rather than having to grow up and figure it out yourself. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if I would have had someone that was like, rather than me just kind of only sympathizing with what my mom had been through and stuff like that, and only focusing on the bad, like it kind of made me forget as a kid all the good stuff. Like I feel like all my good memories with her were just super clouded by the negative ones because I only focused on the negative. Whereas like if I would have had someone say, focus, like, you know, if you're enjoying your time, like focus on the good, I would have maybe had a bigger and like more clearer image or memory of my mom, like when we were good. Like, does that make sense? Yeah. And they just said like, please never let what you can't control hold you back. And it was like, you'll have hard ass days, but carry on. Surround yourself with good people. You are your own merit. You are already wise enough to see the difference. And I just thought that was really lovely.
That's
I was
nice.
like, that's so nice. Yeah.
That's very...
At the time, I lived in a small suburb of New York City. I was in 8th grade. It was picture day. An announcement went over the loudspeaker asking all adults to go to the auditorium, and kids went to the gym. The teacher, aides, and custodians watched us. They told the teachers what had happened and that they weren't allowed to tell us since a ton of students' parents worked at the towers. One of the important Cantor Fitzgerald men was from my town, so a lot of the employees lived in that area. The teachers were crying all day, and the kids were slowly being pulled from class through the loudspeaker to come to the office and get picked up by obscure family members since the parents weren't reachable. We heard a million versions of what had happened through rumors. A bomb had gone off in one tower, and Tower 1 was the most prevalent. We knew it was something terrible, but we didn't know what. I will never forget the sound of screaming from a girl who had read it was a bomb in the middle of the towers on her beeper. Her dad worked there and did die that day. Oh my God. When I got home from school, I watched the news coverage for hours on end and then eventually sat in my parents' bathtub fully clothed without any water watching SpongeBob because it was the only thing that was on that wasn't the coverage. That week at school was rough. They kept it open so kids would have a place to go and grieve and be and hope and talk as they were still recovering people. That Friday, we had a piñata in my Spanish class, and we put a picture of Osama bin Laden's face on it.
Oh my God.
This was one of those weird memories that will always be in my head because it was 25 heartbroken kids who were forced to grow up overnight, enjoying something childish and smiling for the first time in days. Everything changed after that.
Oh my God.
I mean, yeah, oh my God. The Osama bin Laden piñata is a bit... That's a bit crazy. Like, as the Spanish teacher, like, what
was she thinking?
I mean, like, I hope it made the kids feel better. which they did say were smiling for the first time in days. So I'm glad it did work. But maybe just the pinata. I feel bad for laughing. It's so sad, but it just threw me off a bit with the pinata. Yeah.
How about I'll give you a quick story to brighten up the mood.
Yeah.
Right. When I was a child, I went to this person's birthday party and there was a piñata there, and the birthday girl got her eyes closed, like they covered her eyes. And then I stood next to the piñata because I was a clueless fucking child. And she swung that bat full force into my face. And I was like, what the? I just remembered that.
Smash in the face.
Yeah, she did it full force. And I was like,
ow.
Yeah. I was like, what the hell? So
Was that your first time around a pinata?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, probably didn't even know what was going on, that they were going to like hit it or something. And then here we are, still alive.
Yeah, obviously.
Didn't get a concussion.
Yeah, brain damage. That's pretty obvious.
Fuck you.